Perfect.
All right, so welcome this evening, everyone. Thank you for attending this session here. And shout out to Dina and everyone who's live here. My name is Wiley Brazier the 5th, and I am the Google Educator Group Leader for Louisiana, and then the Google Educator Mentor for the South Central United States, covering from Oklahoma to Kentucky. And so this evening we are going to be covering Book Creator, but in a new and engaging way as we start the school year here in Louisiana. Shout out to everyone who went back to school today and who is going back this week, because we have a few different staggered ones. I know my kids, they just went to orientation today here. And so we've gotten we get two sets of pics. We get the orientation day pics because they wear suits, and then we get the first day pics when they wear their uniforms. So shout out to everyone who's going back to school this week. Today with us, they go back on the 19th. Awesome. And so shout out to Book Creator, and then also to Catherine and John here, who are with Book Creator, and for being here with us to help support everything that we're doing here with GEG Louisiana and all of our GEGs throughout the South Central United States, and of course the world as well. So I want to turn it over to them, let them introduce themselves, and then we're going to get this party started.
All right. And Wiley, can you make Catherine the host there? Unless maybe she already has the.
Yeah, I am. So let me just share my screen.
Cool.
Awesome. And we have some pages on here. So thank you so much, Wiley. My name is Catherine Cappiello, and I'm one of the teacher success managers here at Book Creator. I'm located out in Chicago. I am Book Creator Cat on Twitter. So if you want to give me a follow, we always put out our most recent updates on Twitter and some whatever we're doing. If we have some giveaways or if we have some example books, we always put that on Twitter. So if you want to give us a follow, you can also shoot me an email at Catherine@bookcreator.com after this. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help. It is my job to help you and support you. So yeah, happy to help. And I'm a past educator myself. I've taught about 10 years before joining the Book Creator team. I taught kinder, 3rd, 4th, 9th, and 10th grade, so kind of across the spectrum. And been with Book Creator now for almost 3 years. So yeah, can't believe it's almost been 3 years now. But yeah, been working alongside John, and he is going to be on here as well, answering questions and helping me out in the chat too. So if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat, but I'll let John introduce himself too.
Yeah, my name is John Smith, for real. I'm the iPod teacher on Twitter. I'm going old school with my Twitter handle here today. And I'm also John Smith at bookcreator.com. Like Catherine said, one of 2 teacher success managers here at Book Creator. Taught special ed for 12 years, was a tech integration specialist for 7 years after that, and now here at Book Creator. And this will be my 5th year. This is my 5th year here at Book Creator. And I'm married, I got 3 kids, 12, 8, and 5. I love golf and I love clean cars. So if you have a dirty car, Dina, and you're anywhere near Ohio, come on over and I'll be happy to clean that car for you.
Thank you.
And Dina, what grade do you teach before we get started?
I'm in a private school and I work with K through 5.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, today we are focusing on Readers and Writers Workshop and how to integrate Book Creator into that, whatever you're already doing with your students. So we'll definitely focus on K-5 too, and tons of examples. We're going to talk about a little bit about the why is Readers Writers Workshop, why is it so important to expose our students to that. I always like looking at examples what does the end product look like? So I'm going to give you a lot of examples of student creation and teacher creation, since Book Creator is a content creation tool. Then we're going to get you started. So we're going to get you started and logged in, and make sure you have an account set up, and to show you how you can get your students set up and started with Book Creator as well. I'm going to give you a demo of the features that are great to use with Readers and Writers Workshop, and then we'll have some time for Q&A. And good news is we have a giveaway today. And I think if you are the only person on here, I don't know if there's any, is there anyone, Wiley, on live that you see?
They did not do the link. The captain forgot to do the link to the group. So
Okay.
yeah,
So it might be
here today.
Okay, so if anyone else, we might have to raffle it off if other people join in, but if not, you are going to be our lucky winner today of a giveaway of a free license. So we will see if you are the winner at the end of the session today. But
this will be the easiest contest ever, Dina. You have two things that you have to do. One, hope that nobody else shows up, and two, just stay here till the very end. That's it.
And you'll have a free year of premium access. So thanks for attending the session today. And you'll get premium access, which gives you access to use 1,000 books with your students, as well as the premium features and unlimited libraries. So we'll get you started. So this is awesome. And then I know it looks like you've used Book Creator before, so it's awesome. Are you, from a scale to 1 to 10, how experienced are you with Book Creator? 1 being completely brand new, 10 being experienced user? That you feel?
Probably a 7.
Awesome. Okay, great. It gives us a good feel about this. Okay, cool. So we'll definitely have a discussion towards the end. I can show you some advanced features too as we're going through. All right, so kind of just about the why, but I'm going to start with Readers Workshop and then Writers Workshop. Most importantly, we want to be providing students with opportunities to be reading at wherever level that they specifically are at. We need that conference time with students to teach them explicitly specific reading strategies. We want to create a space for students to collaborate with one another. We want to celebrate where they're at in reading and those successes and those milestones that they make. We also want to actually have provide times for students to respond to texts and some different questions with those texts, giving them a space to create a reading journal and having them respond to that, having them create reflections. We also want them to begin to gather a baseline of academic vocabulary and use that academic vocabulary. And of course, the main goal here through Readers Workshop is teaching them explicit reading skills. And we are at the center of it all as the teacher in the classroom. We are kind of the master of that and able to do this for them. And then for Writers Workshop, obviously providing them with opportunities to write at wherever the level they are at, having that conference time with students, a one-on-one time to confer with them, teaching them those writing strategies, also creating a space for them for writing, to collaborate, also to celebrate those successes, celebrate their work, let them show off their work, and collaborate with one another. And then also learning to write in different forms of expression, being able to also add multimedia into their writing, and of course, teaching them those explicit writing skills. And what's great about being able to do this, when we think about how can we add a digital component to this and how can we do this simply, is being able to use actually Book Creator with this. So we're going to talk about how you can do that today and look at some examples of that today. And when we think about why actually use Book Creator for that, first is it's so simple and everything is located in one specific quote unquote app. We're going to look at the web version today, but we do also have the app version. You can record your mini lessons for students to look back at. You could have a lesson by itself right within Book Creator, save for later use. We have templates that are already ready to go that you could use for Reader's Workshop as well as Writer's Workshop. The accessibility features are right directly there. When I was teaching 3rd grade and I used a Book Creator in my classroom, the accessibility for Readers and Writers Workshop was, it was just difficult for me to differentiate sometimes for my students, especially when I was conferencing for students and then making things accessible for all my other students during that time. And now working with teachers around the world and seeing the accessibility features directly in Book Creator, you're going to see today when I show you some of the examples, you're able to create templates for students and use record buttons and translate different things for students. And all those features are there for them in place. So when you do go to conference with students, they have those supports already in place for them, which is really helpful. And I wish I actually used that back in the day when I was conferring with students, because I think that would be really helpful instead of having students just sit there and not be able to write something on the page. Another thing is your students can become real published authors. So you'll see that today through publishing, which I'm sure you've already done with your students. You can easily share things with families through that published link, through collaboration, especially with the premium version. You can collaborate, you can provide feedback. We're actually going to showcase a new feature that's coming out in August, where you can provide real feedback through video, audio, emojis, feedback stickers, so many different fun, engaging ways that you can actually provide feedback in books too. And then taking up their writing a whole nother notch by adding multimedia into it and seamlessly write inside the book itself and not having to go to another program. And then being able to add a co-teacher, having that support in place. So a co-teacher can go in, add accessibility features for you. So you're not having to do double the work or having to give notebooks to another teacher. And they can just go in and just do it right away inside that if you have the ability to actually have a co-teacher. So what does this look like? So students are creating things for Readers Writers Workshop, and then teachers are creating things for Readers Writers Workshop. So what I did was I pulled out different grade levels. The grade levels I have here are going to be mostly K-6. So we'll start for K and then we'll go up to 6th grade. And I'll give you some examples of writing, pieces of writing that have been published, and then also readers' notebooks. So the first one you're going to see here is a kinder example. And what the kinder student did here was they used speech to text. So this is going to be one of those great features that we have access to for those students. What is a great support in place for them. I know John always loves to say that students can, they can write with their face. And that speech to text option is a great way for them to do that in the classroom. What's another great feature is they can record their voice. So I'm going to play this for you and hopefully you can hear it. And the student is able to actually read their story, which is great for fluency. So not only are they using speech to text, they're now retelling their story.
One day there was a person. It was night time.
Are you able to hear that, Jen? Yeah, okay, cool. I'll play the whole thing.
She forgot to lock the door. She went to bed. In the middle of the night, a monster came. She got scared. She went to see what was there. She went downstairs. She saw what was there. She got even more scared. Ooh. The end.
So they have their beginning, middle, and end. Even in kindergarten, they're publishing, they're becoming real published authors. She has her pictures and then retelling the story. They're having all of those writing standards right there, and they're becoming that, they have that published piece now that you can send home to families and they can have forever. So it's a great example of a kinder example. Here you have, this is a first grade example. We have Pete the cat. Same thing, they're able to draw their pictures directly in Book Creator, able to record their voice. This one you can, the students can type it out, or they can do speech to text too, wherever they feel confident at, but it's making them feel like a confident writer. So I'll play just one page for this one.
Pete had new white shoes. He loved his new white shoes so much. He sang this song. I love my white shoes. I love my white shoes. I love my white shoes.
So cute. I mean, it just having the families get to listen to their student do this, and then seeing the student get so confident when they're reading it and replaying it is just, it's priceless. All right, so let's move on to another, let's do a reader's workshop example. So this is a reader's notebook. What this teacher has their students do is every book that they read, they start a new Book Creator book. So instead of keeping a reader's notebook for the entire year, they thought it was more, it just helped with organization, just start over a new book per book that they read. So this specific book they read was Refugee, and they kept their notes and their thoughts as they were reading into their reflection reader's notebook. And this student, each day after they read, they wrote a page and just reflecting their notes and thoughts. What I loved about this is it's just their personal notes and thoughts. So they're not getting graded on a specific rubric necessarily. It's just, what are they reading? What are their thoughts about it? What are some meaningful things that they can tie to the book? So therefore, the first page here, you're going to notice that the handcuffs meant something, so they can pull images. Not only are they having to write text, but they can pull those, like the image of the trumpet. That was something that meant something to that student, that they could connect to that story that day. You also have Google Maps here, and the Google Maps were so important to this book during this time when they were reading Refugee, because the students were able to really track where they were traveling. And the teacher was saying how the students, it just opened their eyes up to how far that they actually had to travel during their migration, just because if they said the past class when they did it, they just had a map and they showed it, but it was just so eye-opening for the students when they actually had to go into Google Maps and do it themselves. They really could zoom in on where it was, where everything was located, and it was just a different experience for those students. So they really enjoyed that Google Map tool that's inputted into Book Creator too. So those features are great. You can just see here the students, and they all have their own meaningful images that they can put in. You can pull those images right from Book Creator as well. But I liked how simple these reflection journals are. And the students can just reflect, and each student is different. They can use an audio button, they could use a video button, they could pull different videos in. It's just giving students the opportunity to reflect in their own way. And it's a great way to track comprehension. You can see, are the students, I'm looking at the images, are they comprehending it this way? Just checking for their reading comprehension as you're going through, and kind of checking those boxes. Are they demonstrating that understanding? So that's an example of that reader's notebook. This is an example of a writing, after a writing unit. These are their narratives. So this is a 5th grade class. And what's great about Book Creator is you can publish all of the books in your classroom. So this is a full 5th grade class. They have all of their narratives after a writing unit. And you can publish them all on this beautiful bookshelf. And then students and families can then go in and click on all of the different students in your classroom, and you can read all of their narratives. So I'll just click on one of these. This is a student wrote about his best friend for his narrative. And then just wrote about the best friend here. And you can see they drew their own pictures as well, and then recorded the story about the narrative about playing with his best friend. But really, really cute how they drew their own pictures and talking about that one small moment that's hanging out with his best friend, playing video games and so forth. But I'm going to share this book with you at the end, and I really highly recommend checking out some of these stories that they wrote. It's really cute. And this is a 6th grade example of some books that they wrote. Same thing. It's all on one library page. And these are some really great examples of published books at the end of a writing unit as well. I really like how they incorporated some of art, like different art skills that they learned through their art instructor as well. And you can hear their expressions when they're, I'll play here. So you've heard kinder and 1st grade, but now you can hear a 6th grader reading their story as well.
Reagan decided that if she was ever going to find a snack, she would have to take a walk and find one. So she walked and walked under the warm rising sun until she came to.
So you can hear they're really practicing expression and those other additional reading and writing skills that they would be doing in 6th grade versus kindergarten and 1st grade. And then lastly, another 5th grade example here. And some of these just turned out, these are nonfiction examples of their nonfiction writing unit. Same thing here. Some of this, I really like this example. They did The Wonderful World of Art. And I think her book just turned out great. It just, to me, I'm like, this is a book better than I could even create. I mean, we need to share this, John, with our graphic designer, because she did such a great job on her nonfiction book. But yeah, I highly recommend checking some of these out. So that's what students are creating. Now we look at teacher creation. So what are teachers creating for Readers Writers Workshop? The first thing they're creating are templates that go with their lessons. So this is an example of a pre-writing template for the pre-writing stages. And this would be when you're looking at a small moment. So this lesson was they're picking out a specific small moment in the writing process that the students needed to write about. So let's say they're writing about their summer and the small moment was, or the bigger moment was going to the beach. And one of the small moments was jumping through the waves. And so the students they decided to write about jumping through the waves. Well, now the student needed to pick out what happened first, what happened then, and what happened last. So the students would fill out this writing template that the teacher had created within BookReader. Each student would have their own template on their device. They would fill that out. And you're going to notice that we have all of these supports in place for sorry, my mouse is going crazy. We have all of these supports in place for the students where they can click on all these audio buttons to tell them what happened first, what happened then, and what happened last. So the teacher can talk about, well, what does first mean? What does then mean? What does last mean? They've obviously already gone through this lesson together as a class. They've done an example together as a class. The teacher's done an example, but now it's on their independent on their own. But the teacher can then give them some tips in the audio button so the student can listen to them when they're on their own as a teacher's conferencing with other students. Whereas if you're just paper pencil, they're not going to have those supports in place. Whereas if they're in BookReader, they're going to have those. So that's just an example of one. Another one this teacher did for a nonfiction writing template would be when they're at the, so that's the pre-writing stage. This would be the writing stage. So this teacher created it for her grade level team. And this is for nonfiction. She's reminding the students what are steps to good writing. So the student can go back and look at this. Okay, I need to think of a topic. I need to do my touch and tell. I need to do all these steps that we talked about. Here is my teacher going through these steps with me again. So here's a video that the teacher recorded of herself going through it. So they have all these supports for themselves. They can go back and watch and listen on their own while they're going through it. They have these anchor charts in place. What are my goals? Remember what good writers do. So they're just digital anchor charts. And now they go into the writing process. For this writing process, they had beginning, middle, end with pictures. So the student would have a picture, write about it, picture, write about it, picture, write about it. And that's what they did in their district. So that's what the teacher has here. So they have beginning, their picture, now their lines to write about the beginning, the middle, they have their picture about the middle, the lines, and then the end. And this is second grade, the end and their lines to write about it. And then at the end, they have a self-reflection. So now they're reflecting about it. They have these stars where they can drag and drop on their reflection, and then they self-reflect here using an audio button. Record yourself explaining what you liked best about your story. So you can make these for your grade level team, share them out with your grade level team, and then you can use them for assessments, or at the end of each of your writing units, have these as their publishing piece and so forth. Another one for reading would be going alongside your reading curriculum. So for this school district, what they did here is they used the Wonders reading curriculum. And what they did was they took Book Creator, they took their reading curriculum and they just embedded it into Book Creator. So this is for Unit 4, Week 2. What they did here was, you'll notice, so for this unit, the students have their own template book, and they're taking this and they've put it all into Book Creator. So they have building background is on page 4. Vocabulary is on page 8. Reading, writing workshops on page 11. So let's just go to reading, writing workshop on page 11. I'm going to click to page 11. Sorry, my mouse is right. There we go. There we go. So it took me to listening comprehension. Maybe it's not right here. Here's listening comprehension. Here's readers, writers workshop. Here's the reading. Read the story. It's going to their interactive reading. I'm going to read this story, and then I'm going to go to my next page. And now I'm doing a prediction. I'm going to predict for the story, and I'll read this story. And here's readers, writers workshop. Go into here. And now I'm going to complete this. Here's my essential question. Why do people run for public office? I read that Miguel is blank. This is why blank. I'm like completing these, answering the following questions. So they're going through this as they're going through the after they're reading the text. So you can embed these. This ties, if I was to click on this, it signs them into their specific online curriculum that they have. So you can embed this all within Book Creator. And you can find all these GIFs, all this text, all of this you can find directly right within Book Creator too. Show you. So those are just some examples of that. Another one, we have read aloud. So this teacher did a read aloud directly in Book Creator. She contacted the author first, so just copyright laws. She contacted the author, and then the author said this was during COVID and during online learning, and the author said, absolutely, you can take pictures of my book, put them into Book Creator, and then have yourself read it to the students and so forth. But you can take pictures of the pages, have yourself record them reading the book, and then have all these extension activities for the students. So it's helping their comprehension. After they finish reading this page, did you ever wonder why snow is white? Click here to find out why, and it's taking them somewhere else, and they're going to explore, why is snow white? So it's having them really explore and go further and really further their comprehension of the story. So you can do the read alouds, whatever you're reading in the class, have them take this home and they can explore even more. Just some additional ideas. And you'll get these ideas when you get this book too. So I encourage you to explore some more for teacher creation.
Okay.
All right. So when we're looking at all these things, you might get really excited and you're thinking, okay, these are great ideas, but how do I begin? I always say start small. Pick one specific thing you're going to start with. Maybe it's just, I'm going to publish this one, we're going to publish the final draft of this unit, or I'm going to start with the pre-writing template in Book Creator, or we're going to start with an About Me page in Book Creator. Just start with something small. Don't go, I'm going to embed everything into Book Creator on the first try. You're going to get overwhelmed and then you're not going to want to use it. So just start with something small. And then number 2, have fun with it. Let the students explore and have fun with it the first time they use it. Let them play the first time they use it. You have fun and play with the first time you use it too. The third thing, explore. We have so many resources on our website. I'm going to show you where to explore today. Explore, do our certification course. Just utilize all those resources. And lastly, ask questions. John and I are here to support you. Ask questions when you have them. Shoot us an email if you have a quick question. Don't sit there and feel like, I don't know how to get started with this. I don't know where to go. And then just stop using it. Just ask the quick question that you need it if you need help. And then we have resources here in the book. I'm going to talk about some of them. There's this one blog post that I wrote about Readers Writers Workshop. I'll just stick this quickly in the chat. But you can also access it in this book. Oops, that is not the one. I don't know what that is. Let me try that again. There we go.
Catherine went international there for a second with the.
I know. I don't know what that was.
Whatever that letter is.
But there you go. So there's the blog post. But this goes through all about Readers Writers Workshop, kind of what we talked about already today. It gives you kind of some of the templates we went through. But this is great to share with a grade level team. If you wanted to say, hey, look, this is a great idea, you can just share this blog post with your team too. But let's get you all started. So where you're going to sign in at, and I'll have John stick this in the chat, but you're going to go to app.bookcreator.com. So app.bookcreator.com. And when you go there, since I'm just going to talk about this for the users that might be watching or that are watching the recording, when you get to app.bookcreator.com, the first page is going to be a student sign-in page. You're going to want to make sure that you switch to teacher. So click switch to teacher, and that's going to take you to a blue owl sign-in page. This is where you're going to want to sign in with your whatever's associated with your district school account. Sign in with that. I'm going to sign in with Google. And then if this is your first time ever signing in, it's going to prompt you to ask what grade levels you teach, what content level, so forth. Just answer those questions. And then it's going to say, what do you want to name your first library? Your first library, just think of it as a classroom. You can name it whatever you would like. You can change the name at a later date. But this is where you're going to have your students, you're going to invite your students to start creating books. Okay. Then we're going to end there. So, and it will say there are no books in this library if you're brand new. Otherwise, you'll just jump back wherever you were working. So for instance, I was in this library. And then where you're going to want to be is at our teacher dashboard. So to get there, at the top of your library, at the top left-hand side, there are 3 lines right here. You're going to want to click on those 3 lines, and that takes you to your teacher dashboard. This teacher dashboard is where all of those libraries live. What I wanted to show you today are a few resources. The first one is where you can find resources to explore. That is at the Discover section. So here's the Libraries tab. If you go to the right of the Libraries tab is the Discover section. If you click on the Discover page, this is where you can find all of our example books. So if you want any books to download to remix, those are going to be up on the top right here. If you want to explore by grade level, that's going to be right here. In the middle are all of these books written by our ambassadors and our graphic design team. And these are great to explore. Some of my favorite, I really like this new one, Top Design Tips. This is a great book to explore. And then we have examples by subject area down here too. So you can explore those. To the right of that is our Learn tab. And this is where we have all of our support articles. So you can sort through those if you need any step-by-step instructions. And then to the right of that is our brand new certification course. So if you click on the certification course, this has been updated to have all of our new features, such as our app store. So I highly recommend doing this if you're brand new to Book Creator, or if you are already experienced with Book Creator. I recommend just taking this when you do this. And John says, excuse his hair in the picture. I think he looks great. But if you want to take this course, at the end, you'll receive a certificate as well as a digital badge. And like I said, we really go in a deep dive into all the features this time. Our last course was kind of a brief overview of our features. We give you examples. We talk about how you can integrate the different features. And it's a great way you can also use this with your students. So if you wanted to teach your students how to use the camera, you could show this video for your students to use the camera and then have them practice and so forth. So I highly recommend not only doing it yourself, but then using this as a tool, as a support for your students too. And then to the right of that is the App Store. So the App Store right here is going to be kind of an advanced section. So if you've already used Book Creator, I highly recommend checking out the App Store. This was released earlier this year. And these are different apps that can really add on to your experience of Book Creator. It's going to give you additional features. The top 4 up here are going to be free, and the bottom 4 are going to be with the premium subscription, which we're going to give away today to our lucky winner. So you're going to have access to those premium features today too. Okay. All right. So what I want to do is go back over to the libraries tab, and I want to show you just our newest feature, because that's going to be coming out in August, but I'm going to give you a sneak peek because it's a great way to give feedback to students in their reading notebooks and in their writing notebooks if you want to use this as a reading or writing notebook resource for your students. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click into one of these books right here. And since Dina, I know you're a 7, so you've already gone through the features of Book Creator, so I'm not going to go through all the features, but I want to show you one of our newest features. It's releasing in the end of August. Okay. So what you're going to see at the end of August is down here, you're going to see that there is a new button right here with a plus sign and a little comment bubble. What you're going to be able to do at the end of August is you're going to be able to provide feedback in books for your students. So you can add comments and then they can add comments back. So if I click add comment, I can leave text feedback. So I can say, great job. And then they can actually give me maybe a check mark or a thumbs up that like, hey, I got your feedback. I can also add video feedback. So I can click on the video and I could say, great work on your story. I can really tell you're taking your time in your pictures, but remember, make sure you take some time on your text now, which sometimes the students will take a lot of time on your pictures. Post. And there you go. There's John making comments on there too. I'm a student, I can make comment on your comments. So the students are commenting back and so forth, commenting. And then I can do audio comments, start recording. Great work, stop recording, post, add comment. I can do emojis. So I always love doing the wow, mind blown. You can also do animated emojis. So these are really fun. Maybe you're doing a cry face, like, oh my God, what did you do here? Do cry face. You can do feedback stickers. These are really fun. So you could do a thumbs up. Maybe they're doing a great job. You do another sticker. You can also do GIFs. So GIFs and stickers. So maybe this one. This is a great one. And then the stickers. Maybe they did a really good job. I would do happy.
I always say nothing screams fix your work better than a screaming emoji poo.
The poop emoji. But yeah, so really fun ways to give feedback. Now, if let's say you're ready to give your students feedback, but let's say you're not ready yet, have them comment back. Maybe you're like me as a teacher, and I was always one that like slowly let them release them to do things. There is a little settings icon up here. If you click on the settings icon, you can disable the ability for students to comment. So maybe I probably would show them commenting first and I would probably do it for them first and show them this is what feedback looks like. This is how appropriate feedback looks like. This is what we're going to do. And now I'm going to release you and allow you to do it back and give everyone the ability to do that and so forth. But you can always disable it if you need to on books. Okay.
Okay.
You also can there's 3 buttons here. You'll notice a teacher can edit and a teacher can delete comments. A student cannot edit a comment, but they can delete a comment. If a student was to delete this comment, at all times, there's a button that says all comments here. You can click on the all comments and you can at all times see deleted comments. So this is a great lesson to teach them. Whatever you post online is forever going to be there. I'm always going to be able to see the deleted comments. So before you post something, just make sure you want it to be there. So obviously if they make a mistake or they spell something wrong or they don't want it there anymore, they can delete it. But you're going to be able to always see the deleted comments. There's also going to be a notification center. So when a student, when you actually comment, they are going to be notified. And when they comment back or leave a comment for you, you are going to be notified. Unfortunately, it is in engineering right now, so I don't have access to that. Otherwise, I would show you that.
Okay.
Do you have any questions on that?
No, I don't. Thank you, though, for letting me know.
Yes, yeah. So that's coming out in August. So it's a great way on your readers' notebooks that they can do that. If collaboration is turned on as well, so now that you have premium access, if collaboration is turned on, they can actually comment on each other's work too. So you can have them do a collaborative book. Well, that's about it. Do you have any questions on anything book creator related?
I do. So our school is a small school. We have in the K through 5th grade, last year I had 88 students. So we're a small school. But I have them use the web version. Because of COVID, we are really a one-to-one and they bring their own device. And if it's not available to them, we do provide, which, the sign in is like crazy if I can get everybody signed in. But so when you have the mobile app, my question is, does the premium feature include the mobile app, or is the mobile app just geared toward the student working on it on their own and not seeing the teacher's assignments?
Good question. So if they're on the mobile app is completely offline. So unfortunately, they do not communicate at all. So your premium access is going to be just for the web version. It's not going to connect at all to the mobile app. The mobile app does not have the premium features that the web version does have.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So it will the mobile app just has the simple features such as like creating a book. It's not going to have like feedback, animated emojis, all that other stuff. It's not going to have that. So I would suggest having them do the web version. The mobile app, sometimes some like kinder teachers prefer doing the mobile app. But I would say like 1st through 5th, I would keep on the web version.
Okay, that makes sense. Then I have another question about when you create a template or you create a a book that you want the kids, for example, I'm having them do an ABC book about our school. And so then I create all the pages that they fill in, or whatever they add to it. So making copies of that, I have to go in there individually and do that. Is there an easier way to do that? So I make one template copy, and then I think I do the copy, and then you have to add the copy to a particular library. So I just keep doing that. Is that the best way, or is that the only way to do that?
So there's two ways. So there's the one way would be if you made the copy, and then you would have to turn on collaboration for each student for them to edit that book.
Okay.
The other way would be for them to make a copy of it. So you would have them join that library.
Okay.
And then that student, so let's pretend this is the template. That student would join the library. So say this is the invite code. The students get the invite code. They join this library.
Right.
Then the student would have to, underneath this book, there's a little book icon that says book options.
Okay.
They click on that and they press copy book. When
Okay.
they press copy book, it goes into the same exact library. It's going to be in blue. They just click on that and it copies the book instantly.
Right. Okay.
They cannot edit your copy, but they can edit this copy. So now they have their own copy of the template.
Okay.
So that would be the easiest way. The only time it sometimes is not the easiest way is if you're doing this for like kinder.
Okay.
Sometimes, or if you do it in like a small group for like, if you're doing first grade, you might have like 5 of them and you just like do it for them real quick. It might help doing it that way, but this would probably be the easiest way to do it.
Okay.
And then they rename it. I would say like have them rename it like Catherine's template or whatever it is, like Catherine's About Me page or whatever it is. And then each student has their own.
Okay. That will save me time. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. And then
Okay.
they tend to get used to it after a while.
Okay. Then they'll know how to use it. Okay. So then I have another question about when you publish something. I know it's very easy to publish this online so that people will have access to it. Is there an easy way to print it in hard copy so that when you do print it, or is that something I have to work with my printer to tell it, which pages, to make it look like a book when you have actually printed it out? Do you know that answer?
Yeah, I'll answer that question. So, I was never a big fan of the printing of the hardback books, but there's a librarian in Canada who's kind of changed my mind on this. And I kind of believe in what she's been doing with it. The downside is that when you do print it, obviously you lose all the fun stuff, right? You lose the audio, you lose the video, any of the animated emojis. But right now, we don't have a setting that allows you to print out the PDF as a book. Our standard kind of stock reply is that within what we've seen some teachers do is download our book as a PDF and then put it into something else like Adobe or something, and kind of manipulate it in that system and then print it out. But directly from our system, we do not allow for the ability to create a foldable book from our PDFs.
Okay, thank you. That answers that question.
Awesome.
And then I have another question about logging on. There are 2 options. One is the QR code, and one is on the web version, where I'm logged in, where you go to the student option and you sign in with Google. I found out that because I couldn't remember which classes I did QR codes, and I said, let me back up and say that I use Book Creator when I'm teaching them the technology options, because I'm also the librarian. But I struggled with remembering who had the QR codes, and then I thought, well, everybody needs to know how to log in with Gmail. So we tried that. but I found multiple, if I had kids do it both ways, I found them in when I do the printout of the log or however they sign in, I find their name multiple times.
Yeah,
So,
it duplicates them. Yeah. So
So
yeah, it duplicates them. So they will have like 2 accounts in there.
right. So, so I just need to stick with one, I guess.
Which one? Yes.
Pick one and just stick with it. Okay.
Pick one,
Yep.
stick with it.
Okay. That helps. Thank you. Those are the questions that I have. So thank
awesome. Hey,
so
Dina,
much.
before I forget, in the chat window, can you put your email address? It looks
I-
like you're going to be the winner tonight. So if you can put your email address in there, I'll send you the information you
Okay,
need.
well, so here's the deal. I did that connection thing, but I can't get back. I mean, I can see you guys, but I can't get back to where my chat window is. Or
Oh, that's right. Can you just tell me what your email is?
Okay, it's D Waters, DWATERS at friendschoolboulder.org.
Friendschoolboulder.org. So 2 S's there, friendschoolboulder.org.
Correct. There are 2 S's.
All right, cool. Well, I'm going to send you the information right now that will give you that upgraded account. So you just need to follow the directions and use the code that's there in the email and you'll be all set.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then let
Thanks
me
for
give
being
you this book. So then you have all of the examples. If you want to click through them. And then we are good to go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great evening.
I will. Thank you very much for spending your time helping me.
Of course.
Oh, sure
That's our
thing.
job.
We definitely thank you for being here, Dina.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Oh, there she is. Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm
Am
fine.
I
I had gone running, so I wasn't really prepared for photos.
Oh, that's fine.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, I did want to let you know, am I pronouncing it, is it Dina or Deanna?
It's Dina.
Dina, okay, thought so. Okay. So I did also want to let you know that we will be having another session where they'll be able to, you might have some additional questions, but we will be having this one. Oh my God, and I forgot to give you the sign-in sheet so that you can get your certificate of attendance for tonight's session. But we do have the link that is here, and I am going to put this link into the chat for you. So if you want to register for this session, it's talking about digital citizenship activities with Book Creator. And that is going to be next week on the 15th at 6 p.m. All right. And of course, we have all of the other previous webinars on our GEG Louisiana webpage. So that's this one right here, www.geglouisiana.com. And if you just go under past webinars, you'll be able to see. If you go under past webinars, you'll then be able to see the ones that we've done already with Book Creator already there for you. My computer is just running a bit slow, but they'll appear right here at the top of each of these. Okay, so yes,
Thank
there
you.
and you can just click play, and there is a sign-in sheet and everything that allow you to get a certificate of attendance and CEUs for the time that you have spent with us. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh my God, it's flashing here. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to put that sign-in sheet here in the chat right now for you. HTTP. Any other questions, Dina, before we wrap up here?
No, I don't. You've answered my questions that I have, and I love Book Creator, so thank you so much.
Awesome. That's what we like to
Awesome.
hear.
Definitely. And thank you so much as well, Catherine and John, for your time this evening, and we will see you next week.
All
Thanks for
right.
having us.
All
See you,
right.
Wiley.
Thank y'all so much.
Have a good
Have a
night.
good one.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.